Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive today? We're going all the way back to the 90s with R.E.M's Losing My Religion.
Such a classic.
More than just a classic, right? I mean, this song, it was like the anthem for a whole generation.
He really was.
We've got some great excerpts here that get into the song's context, impact, all that, plus some really cool trivia you probably never knew.
Oh yeah, some fun stuff in here. What always gets me about Losing My Religion is, well, how it went way beyond just being a hit. It really captured something about that moment in time, you know?
Yeah.
Early 90s, the world was changing.
The 90s, yeah. Already feeling nostalgic. So, set the scene for us. What was it about that time that made this song resonate so much?
Well, think about it. The Cold War had just ended. Big change. The internet was just starting up. Nobody knew what that would become.
Yeah.
And social norms, everything felt like it was shifting.
A lot of uncertainty, but also.
Exactly. A lot of possibility, too. And musically. Grunge, alternative rock, that was exploding, pushing back against, I don't know, the 80s, all that commercial stuff. R.E.M, they fit right into that with their lyrics, their sound.
Right, they had that folk rock blend, but also something unique.
Definitely unique.
So you've got this backdrop of global change, new sounds, people looking for something real, and then bam, Losing My Religion. On the surface, you think it's a love song, maybe, but then you listen closer.
There's so much more there. The source actually talks about how the title itself, Losing My Religion, it's a Southern expression, meaning like doubt, desperation, really feeling lost.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, and it resonated with people back then because, well, a lot of people were questioning things, relationships, beliefs, where they fit in. It wasn't just words. It was like a reflection of how a lot of folks felt.
I remember being in high school, everybody loved this song, but it was more than just teenage angst, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, way more. The source even mentions high schoolers back then having deep conversations about what the song meant to them.
No way, like analyzing it.
Yeah, it was like an anthem. All those struggles with love, loss, trying to figure out who you are in this world that's changing so fast.
It's funny because even if you weren't a teenager then, you could feel that. And then the music itself, that mandolin, so haunting.
Right. You didn't hear that in pop music much back then. That riff, that's Peter Buck, the guitarist. Apparently, he wasn't even a mandolin player.
You're kidding!
It's true. Shows you how experimental they were. And that riff, some people loved it, some hated it, but nobody was indifferent.
You know what else I remember? The music video. Mind-blowing at the time. Those visuals, surreal, confusing.
Isolation, yeah. It really captured what it felt like to be a teenager back then.
Yeah.
At least for a lot of people.
Like R.E.M. was holding up a mirror, showing everyone these emotions we were all feeling, but maybe couldn't put into words.
Exactly. And it wasn't just here either. The source talks about how Losing My Religion went global.
Wow, worldwide impact.
People everywhere connected with it. Shows you how universal those themes were. But it's the music, too, that helped to cross borders like that. Let's get into that a bit more. What do you say?
Yeah, the music itself, how that played into Losing My Religion becoming this, well, global phenomenon. It's fascinating. R.E.M. always blended genres so well. Folk, rock.
Even some psychedelia in there,
Oh,
right?
definitely. You get the acoustic guitar, mandolin, that folky feel. But then
Then the electric guitar, drums, that edge comes in, gives it this
raw energy, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Stipe's voice on top of it all. So distinctive.
haunting almost. Really draws you in.
It does. Like the music itself is mirroring what the song's about. All those different sounds, emotions mixed together.
It's not just a simple love song, is it? It's complex, layered, like the feelings it's exploring.
Yeah.
Do you think that's, I don't know, part of why it connected with so many people around the world? That complexity. Absolutely. R.E.M., they weren't going for a like catchy pop tune, They were digging into those deeper themes. Doubt, longing, searching for something. And the music reflects that. It's not just something you tap your foot to.
You feel it, yeah. And that feeling, losing your religion, it wasn't just about, well, organized religion.
Right. No. The source talks about it being more about losing faith in things you thought you knew. The systems, the beliefs that maybe weren't working anymore.
It's a feeling a lot of people can relate to, no matter what their background is. That's what makes Losing My Religion so timeless, I think. Came out in a specific time, but those feelings, doubt, searching for connection.
Those are universal, yeah. Everyone experiences that at some point. That's the power of music, I guess. Transcends time and place. Connects on pure emotion. And that's why, decades later, this song still hits people.
The source mentions how influential it was, too. Other musicians. Almost like it gave them permission to explore those darker, more introspective themes.
Oh, 100%. Losing My Religion paved the way for so many artists. Before that, alternative rock, it was still finding its voice,
Yeah.
But this song, it legitimized those emotions. You could be vulnerable, express doubt, and still be successful.
It wasn't just about catchy hooks and happy melodies anymore.
Right. It was about real stories, real feelings.
Did that influence go beyond alternative rock, though?
Totally. You can hear echoes of Losing My Religion everywhere. Indie folk, emo, even some pop stuff. It showed you could be both commercially successful and emotionally resonant, that you didn't have to fit in a box.
One song having that kind of ripple effect. Incredible.
And that's why it's so much more than just a hit. It's a cultural, touchstone. It changed things. But we can't forget the music video, can we? That was a huge part of it, too. As iconic as the song itself, almost.
Oh, absolutely. Groundbreaking. It wasn't just the band playing. It was like this visual representation of everything the song was about. All those symbols, those images.
Parsom Singh directed it. He went on to do some big films.
This was his big break, wasn't it?
It was. Nobody had seen anything like it before. It just fit the song so perfectly. Helped cement its place in pop culture.
What are some of the things that stand out to you in the video? Well, the religious imagery, all the angels, crosses, rituals, playing on the title, obviously, exploring those themes of faith, doubt. But then you have Stipe dancing, almost like he's in ecstasy, which, when you think about the lyrics, being so lost.
It's a powerful contrast.
It is. And there's this, sense of isolation, longing throughout the whole video, the slow motion, close-ups.
Shot almost entirely indoors, too. Very confined space.
That must have been intentional, adding to that claustrophobic feel, being trapped. And the lighting, so dark, shadow.
Yeah, adds to the mystery, the unease. What I like is it doesn't try to illustrate the lyrics literally. It's more about the mood, the atmosphere.
Exactly. It's an artistic exploration, not a literal one. Makes it so much more powerful. People can bring their own interpretations to it.
And MTV back then, they played this video constantly, introduced it to a whole new audience. Won awards too, right? Oh yeah, tons of MTV Video Music Awards. Best Group Video, Best Direction. It changed the game for music videos. Showed what was possible.
So we've got the song, the context, the impact, the iconic video. What else is there to consider?
The lasting legacy. How did this one song change the game? What did it pave the way for? That's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive. Back again. Last time, we were talking about the legacy of Losing My Religion, right? How one song could have this ripple effect changing music.
It's wild to think about, yeah. Not just a hit, but it really did shift things. There's a before and after this song. Why was this one so impactful?
Well, before Losing My Religion, alternative rock was still kind of finding its place in the mainstream. Bands were experimenting, but a lot of popular music was still pretty surface level.
Yeah.
Then this song comes along, the structure's different, the lyrics are deep.
And that mandolin, nobody else was doing that.
Right, breaks the mold completely. So it was like, what? R.E.M. gave other artists permission to be more real, more vulnerable, experimental.
Showed them you could be authentic and still have huge success.
Yeah. Audiences wanted music that went deeper, I think. Reflected real emotions. It wasn't taboo anymore for a rock band to express doubt, sadness.
Those feelings had a voice now.
Exactly. And the source even mentions how it wasn't just alternative rock either. It went beyond that.
Other genres too.
Oh, yeah. You can hear Losing My Religion's influence in so much stuff. Indie folk, emo, even some pop music took cues from it.
Really?
It opened up this space for songwriters to get personal, tell their stories, explore those emotional landscapes. Didn't have to fit in a box to make it.
Amazing how one song did that. This creative explosion across genres.
It's the power of music, isn't it?
Yeah.
When a song hits something universal, it doesn't matter the genre or where it's from. It can transcend all that.
Even today, Losing My Religion pops up in movies, TV shows all the time.
I know, right? It's not just nostalgia, though, is it?
I don't think so. It's like they use it to evoke a feeling.
Yeah, those scenes, they're usually about longing or introspection, maybe even sadness.
Like the song itself is shorthand for this complex emotion. You couldn't say it any other way.
It's become part of how we talk about those things, almost. Shows you how deep this song went into our culture. Still speaks to people all these years later. That's a great song, right?
It really is. So, wrapping up our deep dive here, what's the big takeaway? What do we want our listener to remember?
Well, I think the key is Losing My Religion wasn't just a song. It was a moment. Capture what a generation was going through, anxieties, hopes, all of that.
And it changed music, inspired so many artists.
Still resonates today. It's a reminder that music can hit you on this deep personal level. Put those hard-to-explain feelings into a song, and it changes how we see ourselves, the world.
Powerful stuff.
And remember, we talked about how losing my religion wasn't just about that one time. Doubt, longing, searching for meaning, that's universal. We all deal with that.
At different points in our lives, for sure. Makes you think, makes you feel, stays with you.
That's what great art does, right?
Definitely. And it gives us something to think about. How do the songs we love when we're young, how do they keep shaping us even as we get older?
Good question. One to ponder, for sure.